Hello everyone. So in today's video we are going to be discussing how to design a responsive user profile page. So what we can see here is the my profile button, and once we click it we should be going to our profile page, but it won't take us to a profile page because we haven't signed in here. So we click sign in or register. We are able to already have an account. We click remember me and then we sign in. So from the details of our session, my name is here highlighted, and so now when we click my shop button and click the my profile page, we should be taken into a new page. So this is a new page, and what we have here is our address, our name, and even from here we can click sign out and sign out if we want to. And this is the footer of our page. It's the same thing as we saw in our home page as well. So these are input boxes for our first name. So here we can update our profile, and here we can update our profile image. So when we click it, our menu bar opens to choose a image from our files. So here we can put our first name and type. We can enter mobile. Then we can add a password here. And here our email will be here, and our registered date, our account registration date. Then we can update our address here, and we can choose our province, our district, our city, our postal code, and our gender. So these fields are left as read-only fields. So at the moment we cannot see the contents of it, but when we go to discuss our code, we can see how we have edited and made it into fields where we can use. So let's move on to the coding part of our page. So this is our code, and now we are in a header.php document. So let's move on how we've created our code. So in our code we are right here for the point in our drop down where it says my profile, we have added an anchor tag in the drop down item, and given it the location user profile.php. So we will be seeing this or this will be executed only if we have logged in or if there is a user logged into it. So let's move on to this. So we have coded this like a normal HTML document. We have the language UTF-8, and we have set our content. These are the necessary documents, bootstrap.css. Then we have the icons, and these are the two other documents we need. Then we have our own personal style sheet, and then we have added our logo, and then we have created this in our content. We have created a container fluid, and then made a row, and in that row we have included our header.php. So whatever is in our header, which we saw in the home page, will be repeated here too. And we have created a connection with our database by connecting or linking our document connection.php, and we have created an if block saying that if it is said that there is the username in the session, then the username and the email, the username and email of the session will be taken and given the variable email. And so we have added a database search query saying that we select all from the user table inner join in the profile image on user.email, profile image on user.email, inner join user has address on user.email, user has address.user email, inner join city, and we have follow the same steps for of inner join for the district, and then from district to province, and from province to finally gender, and from gender we take the gender ID, and then we finally take our email, where email column has the variable email, and we have given this search query details rs details result set. So this result set we've asked it we've asked it to be fetched using a query, and we've given that command the variable name $data. So we have asked for uh, uh, line 1, which is the first line of our address in our data which we've got, to be displayed on our screen. So that was what we saw as the address in the first line under the first name of the user. Then we had created another div, and in that we have given it a column width of 12 and the background color primary, and we made a row and then another div uh, with the column space 12. Then we've given the background body, the rounded we've given a rounded border, a margin top of 4, a margin bottom of 4. Then again we've created another div for a row and given a gutter spacing of 2. So for medium devices we have asked for a space of 3 columns to be taken, and it's at the end of our border. We'll be having a border, and we have created another display flex flex column, align item center, and the text will be aligned to the center with a padding of 3 and a vertical padding of 5. And here we have asked our image to be linked, so our image path will be pasted here, and around that image we are given a rounded border and a margin top of 5. We are given the style or the CSS line for this. We've given a width of 150 pixels, and so we are moving down to the next bit. We've asked for a first name to be echoed, our email, and then after that we have created an input file class dnum, and we have added an ID, profile image, and we have accepted the image. So that was how our files icon opened when we were going to add an image for this page. And so we created a label which is in the form of a button primary, which is a blue button, and we've given it a margin top spacing of 5, and it says the button said update profile image. So moving on to the next bit of our code, we saw the profile settings in bold, which is the bigger handwriting than the rest. These are all created in divs one after each other, and this is the main div holding all the data under profile settings. So then we have created a div for first name and the input type text, form control, similarly for last name, then our mobile number and our password, and in our password we created an input group, and here for our we have input our password and our class and our form class form control, and we will set this document as a read only. That's why we saw a light grayscale on top of our password fields, our email fields, and our registered date fields. So here we had a span class dividing our password field into twos, which is where we saw a blue eye icon, and then moving down we have our email, and similarly register data as read-only input fields. Then we have our address line 1 and our address line 2, similarly like we had in our past in our mobile, our last name and our first name. So moving on, our address, our province, and in our province we have added a few options. So we have the western, southern and north province, and then similarly we created another input for our district and added a few options in our select class. So we have given it the form select, so this is all in the same form. Then we have Colombo, Gampaha and Kalutara, and then we have once again the city, and we have the same cities mentioned here. And finally we move on to our postal code, our gender and our update my profile button. So this is the button in which where we click it, it should update all our data into our data in our database, because we have given the command up here. And so moving down to the last bit of our code, we have column medium 4, where the text is aligned to the center in a class row, where there's a margin top of 5, font weight bold, text black color, 50 pixels, saying display ads. So let's say we haven't got our details from our cookie or session, and we don't have our first name and email, which we saw when I was logging in before. It will take us back to the header, localhost eshop home.php. So it will take us back to this address, and we cannot see the personal profile page. So finally we have a at the bottom of our code we have a footer also included, and at the end of our body we have a bootstrap bundle.js file added and a JavaScript file added. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.